Dark Knight's Death Metal issue 6. Scott Snyder writing with Greg Capullo on the art. The penultimate issue in our Anti-Crisis, which is it's kind of a lower key issue in that it's just really the big sort of battle building up to the actual real final battle.
Yeah, they're kind of binding things together.
Yeah.
So it's weird because I was really in on Death Metal when it started. This week, though, I was much more excited for Endless Winter, just because it's more of a simple story. It's not this big, sprawling, epic, with moving pieces, and that's not any. I'm not trying to be down on the quality, because quality's still there with Snyder and Capullo, and it has really good character moments, and it's a lot.
I think it's part of that. I think it's also because Endless Winter's moving at such a nice pace, and it's going to be done in a couple of weeks. This, because this is issue 6. Issue 7 is the final issue. You know that the real ending's not coming till next month, so it's harder to be as excited for this particular issue of Death Metal, because you know you're so close to the real big payoff moments. And there was a chance that the final page of this might have some big cliffhanger, and I wouldn't say it is, because it's basically just Wonder Woman's ready to fight. That's it. Yeah. That's your cliffhanger.
Well, and what she does, which I think is cool, and just to spoil it here, that she goes to the Forge and forges almost herself with her lasso, the Golden Perfect, into a weapon to fight the Darkest Night, which I think is really cool, because how do you fight the Batman who laughs? And that's with truth. And so it's a really nice, layer that Snyder's added here. How do you take down the Bat God is the truth. So, as someone that hates the Bat God, even beyond the Batman who laughs. I mean, concept. It's nice.
I don't even think it's a new layer, though. I mean, it was already brought up in the last issue that the way they were going to do this was with truth. The idea that's what unravels the crisis, is if everyone remembers everything. So it's just an extension of that. If anything, it comes across a little bit just kind of like comic booky to me, that it just devolves into making a suit of armor out of the lasso.
Yeah. I like it. This is the same, when Metal kicked off, there was a Justice League Megazord.
I'm not against the wacky concept. It's just that as your penultimate cliffhanger, or not even this is your last cliffhanger. This is your final cliffhanger. Get your final issue. I don't know if this had quite the bite to it to be like the big surprising hook to make me go, I'm ready for the final part of the story.
I might have forgotten they brought that up in issue 4 or 5, whatever, which one it was, just because, when you don't record weekly, you tend to stuff tends to slip.
That's why it's good to talk about it, Matt, because we remember things a little bit better.
Get out of it. But yeah, so I like that. This was full of some fun characters. I read this so early in the week, though, that I'm having a hard time.
I mean, honestly, for the most part, all it really is that all the heroes are fighting all of the dark, evil versions of Batman and any other evil versions that they've got in this army. And they're kind of just barely holding their own, and there's some narration from Sergeant Rock talking about soldiers praying in the trenches and whatnot. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman's on her way to the Forge, and Darkseid's there, and she ultimately has the idea to, use the lasso. Honestly, in terms of plot beats, this is probably the lightest issue of this entire book. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of progression. Obviously, we occasionally go to the Darkest Night fighting Perpetua, and Perpetua trying to cut a deal with him, and him being like, nah, I'm just going to kill you and take your power and, reign supreme, blah, 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 blah. And as per usual, eventually he shows up, and he's got his army, he's finished creating everything, he's got all the energy he needs, darkest possible moment, but that's right when Wonder Woman's like, no, I've got this idea, and she puts the lasso into the Forge so she can remold it into armor. And you've got all the various heroes saying goodbye. One of the best moments might be when Batman tries to say something to Superman, and he just says, I know, brother. He doesn't, you don't have to say it, we know. And seeing all the various heroes lined up and whatnot. But yeah, the cliffhanger is just kind of like, okay, she's coated herself in golden lasso, and she's got her chainsaw back. All right? Okay.
Yep, chainsaw of truth. So, but yeah. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
solid issue.
Do you know what it is? I think month to month, this is kind of a, not disappointing issue, but just kind of a typical issue. I think if you're reading this in trade, this is a really good momentum sort of like driver from the previous issue to the final one. But I think reading this monthly, because it doesn't really have a whole lot of progression on its own, it doesn't feel as exciting as a monthly issue.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like the last stories, right, really hit those character moments that otherwise, you know, we could have taken a little bit of time with. You know, so that did pack a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I definitely preferred that over this main issue, I think, this month, for sure.
But yeah.
But yeah, honestly, this is the quickest metal discussion we've ever had, I think, because I have nothing left to say about this issue.
No, it's just I need more the Starbro, whatever we're calling him. Like he's a lot of fun.
Although he's gosh darn language is too much at times.
It is.
As Batman points out.
But yeah.
That's okay. All right, and obviously Capilla's art is very solid.
I mean, just everything that's there. I mean, there's this one page towards the end that's stacked where they're all talking about one universe. And you have like the Bat family behind Batman, and then the Aqua characters, the Lanterns, and then the Super family. Like just the way that flows, like Capullo, and it doesn't all feel like copied. Like they all stand out on their own.
Yeah,
it's real nice.
Yeah, I will say. Right, I'm okay with them working with villains in a situation because it's this dire, but there is no justification for me why Batman would ever stand in the same lineup as Joker. There is not a single justification. I don't care what it is. Joker standing next to the rest of the Bat family fighting by their side is never not going to just not work for me.
Now, are we sure it's not a Joker from another universe that survived?
No, I don't think so, because this was the one that got let out, the cell with the rest of them.
Well,
so I'm pretty sure that's him.
Yeah, that makes sense. But hey, the Darkest Knight's the bigger threat. So
but you know, other than that, because I can see Batman working with. I can see Bane coming to an agreement in a situation like this where he does become an ally.
Yeah, Bane was an anti-hero for a minute. Yeah. Like let's not forget Gale's Secret Six.
That's true. But even any villain with some sort of sense could become an ally when there's something like this happening.
Definitely.
But Joker does not have sense. That's kind of the point.
No, he does not. But that's why he's Joker. But Superman standing next to Bizarro, pretty cool. Down on the bottom of that page, I do like that.
Yes. Although John maybe looks a bit old.
Well. It happens. Oh, Doomsday's back there too, and I would say that Doomsday's
working.
Doesn't belong there as much as Joker doesn't belong there. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, he's just a mindless killing machine.
Send him after the Darkest Night, would you?
But I think that this was benefited greatly by that last one shot because I had a lot of context for a lot of these Titan-esque characters being in the lineup, but. Other than that, this issue is just a fine momentum, not builder, just like maintain. It maintains momentum.
It's almost the appetizer. That said, I'm very excited for the one that's coming out this week. Upcoming.
The one shot. Next one shot. Yeah. So all right. Oh, what are you giving the book then?
I'm gonna give it 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it just a straight 7. I think. It does fine what it's doing of keeping the interest for the next issue, but it doesn't really offer anything on its own to be super exciting. Like, I get that they didn't want to overstuff the last issue, and they wanted to have maybe a bit of a breather before that last issue, but it does kind of feel like, you know what, I'm ready for the big epic final now, and this is, maybe this and the last issue should have just been bundled together as one big super-sized 60-page beast or something like that.
But I feel they're tied to these big events being 7 issues now. Like it's just it's their number.
Well, I think maybe the more important thing might be the fact that there's these one shots to come in between that are set in between that are set. So that may be more why. But there you go. That's Dark Knight's Death Metal issue 6.